So, Sammy, if you can go ahead and unmute and tell us a little bit about you and who you are.
Well, thank you very much, and I feel really privileged to be the first one. I feel happy as well, slightly sleepy because it's 12 a.m. Um, here in Dubai. It's warm and rainy, so I'm not sure if it's the best combination or not.
Well, it's
But
better
I
than
guess
cold
I
and
guess being
rainy.
warm is fine. Yeah, probably better than being too cold and rainy.
Yeah.
Um, my name is Sameh Sabry, and this is my name, my handle, my everything. I intend not to change my name as much because, well, so many people would figure out who I am anyway. So put your name out there. I have been doing cybersecurity since I was a teenager. I've been wearing many hats in my life, so this is why I love the Many Hats Club. Um, I've been doing many hats in my life, but recently, and for the last probably 10 years of my life, I've been more blue than anything else. Trying to sit next to the people who are defending the world for a better cause. Um, so I work with cybersecurity companies, and today I work with a cybersecurity software company. I play music, I cook, um, probably I speak a few languages, so I might pick up a few words here and there. And English is not my first or second language, so if I miss something, please don't judge. Honestly speaking, today when I spoke earlier to the guys about what should we be covering today, and the idea was basically an open platform. So today I have a few things to share with you, of which one of them is personal, and I thought maybe other people could benefit from it, and the rest are more in information security. I'll start with the personal piece. In 2019, and specifically in the last few months, I realized on a very personal level that actually eating fats could help you lose weight.
Cool.
For so many years we thought that fats is bad and fats are evil, but I realized in the last couple months that if you eat good fats, you are actually on a good direction of losing weight. So a person like me who needs to lose a lot of weight started using that, and in the last couple of months, I almost lost 10 kilograms.
Wow.
Now you do the math, so you get it in pounds or whatever measurement
Two
you
two
use
point
it
two
from.
pounds to the kilogram. That's an amazing accomplishment.
Well,
And that's
I
just
need
diet or
to lose
exercise as
another
well.
30 kilograms. I need to lose another 30 or 30 plus kilograms. So you do the math as well.
Gotcha.
No, this is basically based on stopping carbs, eating healthy fats, eating good and real butter, real nuts, uh, basically handling the sugar and insulin levels in your blood. So
Do you
you
think
avoid the sugar spikes
do
in
you
your
think
blood.
this is a major problem then because of like the introduction of Western foods into the Middle East, and the fact that the Mediterranean diet was largely uh, one of the most healthy diets that you can have? Do you feel that it has
No,
to do with junk?
it's
No?
it's well, the Middle East is a really big term. You probably know that more than anyone else.
Yeah.
For so many areas and regions in the Middle East, food is basically rice and something next to it, or
Right.
bread and something next to it. So I wouldn't really blame the Western cultures on other things, but this one, I believe it's all our fault. It's all our mistake, um, because we typically eat rice and anything next to it, or bread and anything carbs actually manipulates the sugar levels in your blood, and therefore you feel really hungry, and you eat much more than you could, and you eat all the bad things, and the body can only takes a few grams of carbs, and everything else becomes fat and bad
Right.
fats that lives in your blood.
Yeah.
But while consuming good fats, and I keep on saying good fats, By consuming good fats, you will make sure that there are no sugar spikes or insulin spikes, and therefore your body is saturated for a longer period of time. And actually, you teach your body, and this is why I like it. It's called biohacking. You teach your body to live on fats instead of living on glucose or sugar. And it helped me a lot on a personal level. Gave me the confidence that I can break the norm because everyone around me can only eat rice and something next to it, or bread and something next to it. And guess what? For the last 9 weeks, I have been consuming zero carbs. No, zero rice, zero bread, zero straightforward carbs, which gave me another dimension of my personality that I could do something different, something that I never thought I could do.
Sameh, can I ask you a question?
Please.
So there is a theory that if you eat well, then your mental health is generally better.
Yes.
That could be something I dreamt. I'm not entirely sure, but I do believe that is the case. Could you say that that's helped you in your own mental health? The fact that you've got a better diet, you're feeling better about yourself. Obviously, your body's in better condition. Does that make you feel better mentally?
So without any scientific reasons, I can assure you that this statement is 10,000% correct for Sameh Sabry.
Wow.
So for me, I the moment again, when you're too heavy, you feel that everything is hard. You have no energy. You don't want to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
You're always in a bad mood. You're always giving yourself an excuse not to do something. However, when you feel lighter, when you feel easier, honestly, I have been having no naps, and I don't need naps. I have been okay with caffeine, but not too much caffeine. I stopped having heartburns, which was a really major problem, and it's a major problem typically with overweight people because we eat more than an average person. So honestly speaking, eating better according to my current diet plan makes me feel much better, lighter, funnier, easier. It helped. It helped a lot.
Yeah.
And this is why I actually wanted to start my 20-minute window with something personal that worked.
Yeah, that's
I
brilliant.
never believed that a changing diet could actually help, but actually it does. So I introduced fasting as well, intermittent fasting, and that is helping a lot. I never thought that I could stay for 16 hours or 18 hours without food. And now I do, and I'm not cranky, and I'm not mad, and I'm not feeling, angry. I'm actually okay.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So the first thing I learned in 2019 is that changing your food is possible, and whatever I've been eating for the last so many years of my life is something you could change, and it changes sometimes really good. And the fact that I used for this term, the sentence I used, and I kept it on a small paper, that the whole world tells you fats would kill you, but in reality, good fats could help you become better and even lose weight if that's one of your goals.
Brilliant.
That's the personal piece. The technical piece or the information security relevant piece is honestly um, focusing on understanding what you can do and what you have versus what you want to achieve. And let me explain a little bit on what I mean by that. Since so many of us, probably all of us, and even more people than me, have lots and lots, we've been focusing about the very complex things, the very hard things to deliver, the very hard things to achieve, while neglecting the fact that these things might not be matchable with available resources. I'll give you an example. I cover the Middle East, Turkey, and Africa within my current role. So if I have a technology, and many cases, and then I see people who do not even know the difference between a firewall and an antivirus. It would be really stupid to teach them or to give them a security software that is based on threat hunting, for example. You know what I mean? Like if I the right basics, uh, the unrealistic, stupid, excuse my French, to give them something as advanced as a real threat hunting platform, or looking for anomalies, or looking for in-memory process injection, or you know what I mean. So
Yep.
sometimes I learned that understanding your limits and understanding your available resources, whether it's a budget, whether it's people, whether it's who you speak with, whether it's the language. I have been in so many countries with so many different languages. Imagine, if you give someone who doesn't speak English at all a phenomenal play by Shakespeare, he or she is not going to get a word of it and then say, you know what, that was stupid. I wasted so many hours of my time watching or listening or reading about Shakespeare, right?
Yep.
Although it's really an amazing piece on its own. So understanding what you have and understanding your limit, understanding your capability, understanding what's there helped me a lot as a consultant in positioning the right technology for the right people. And there's no one fit for everyone. There, of course, there are some similarities between people and needs and wants and stuff like that. However, there's nothing such as this is the right solution for everyone on Earth for every demand on Earth. Period. So stuff like ease of use, stuff like language, stuff like understanding human resources and human power really helped me a lot shape a lot of my recommendations and suggestions for 2019 to so many different people. And in my opinion, the results were much better than what I thought, than what I expected. So that was the second piece today. We intend to try to achieve the best, or try to get the best, or try to do the best. But sometimes doing the best or achieving the best is not necessarily really the best for that specific customer or that specific user or that specific consumer in a direct way or another. Does that make sense?
It does.
Am
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
am I able to push the message? For me, what I'm trying to say is, for example, I've seen a customer in a government sector in the Middle East who has zero people that speaks English, and they were evaluating two software solutions. One, and both of them were for anti-spam gateways, nothing major. One of them required a lot of English skills to read through the menus and to read through the configuration. And was honestly done in a way that was really hard for so many people. So they don't have a security background. They have very basic knowledge of English, and they need to build it from the scratch. Versus another smaller technology, not as sophisticated as technology A, but it had three buttons on and off. So for me as a consultant, when I looked at this, I was like, you know what, guys, maybe the smaller technology that only has three on and off buttons are more suitable in your case, because in both scenarios you have no one to administrate them, no one with no knowledge to really configure any of them, and more importantly, you don't even understand half of what's written on the first one.
Sure.
Why don't you go with the second one and achieve out of 10 scenarios without touching anything versus achieving zero scenarios of 10? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So
Yeah.
I learned that. So instead of trying to put everything I know and to achieve everything I know, or everything you know as the best of the best possible, sometimes you need to downgrade a little bit to achieve something that makes more sense, that is more relevant to the current situation and more relevant to the available resources.
Yeah. Agreed. Completely agreed.
The last piece I want to share with you is I had this talk at another conference in Las Vegas, Black Hat. I'm not sure if I could mention conference names or not.
You can.
But I just did. So the last piece is I had this conference. I had the speaking slot in Black Hat this year, and wasn't really super technical. But I want to share two notes from that one with you as well, because that's something I learned in 2019, and I was able to document it as well. Is how we see others, how defenders see attackers, and how attackers see us, and it's amazing because that slide came from different resources, different people over the internet, different Twitter polls, different feeds. It's amazing how hard our jobs is versus how easier it is to be on the attacker side. And I'm not saying that finding novel techniques and novel ideas is easy, but for us, we have thousands and thousands of hosts to defend 24 by 7, 36 5 days of the year, or even more because it's more than 365.
Yep.
However, for them, they just need to compromise one host. They need to compromise or exploit one vulnerability. For us, we need to patch and fix every possible vulnerability. Attackers are highly paid. Defenders are typically not highly paid in comparison to what attackers are making.
Yeah.
Defenders are static. They don't move as much. Attackers are moving all the time. Today, I'm getting attacked from a gentleman in China, tomorrow from Russia, after tomorrow from Egypt, after tomorrow from the UK, and these guys keep on changing in different time zones, different locations. While my location, my IP, my domain, my existence in the real world remains almost the same. I have a very limited time and resources. They have infinite time and resources. For them, failure means, you know what, screw it, next victim, let me see. For us, in so many cases, specifically in the Middle East, and even more in Dubai and Kuwait and Saudi and this part of the world, failure in cybersecurity equals to, in so many cases, getting fired and going back home.
Sure.
So that's one, if I can call it, or like one bird's eye view of attackers versus defenders that I was able to get this year. And honestly, it was a consolidation of what we learned in the last few years. And honestly, just to leave something with you, something more positive, I learned that with the use of human skills, we can mitigate a lot of that, but that's not enough because there are not so many, there's not so much expertise in the world enough to stop every possible bad thing. So I believe the way to get closer to get closer to attackers and even and potentially try to be at their same speed is by using a lot of data science, a lot of machine learning, a lot of artificial intelligence, trying to automate a lot of the things that does not require very complicated very complicated mindsets, but tries to or uses a lot of muscle work. And if possible, that would be ideal to orchestrate the remaining part. So we try to leverage a lot of data science and artificial intelligence to, because we are, as humans, we are not enough.
Indeed.
And so we need to depend on our good brains in building good models and automate a lot of these processes. And potentially that would be perfect and ideal is to orchestrate whatever AI and automation couldn't fix by using a man in the loop, not just man on top of the loop.
Yeah.
These were my 2 cents. I have 2 minutes left. If there is a question, I would love to take it.
Yeah, Sammy, I've got a question. So you obviously are in the Middle East. Are you seeing, because the population is really young, are you seeing people go into the cybersecurity profession or computer science or IT as viable career options? Or are people still kind of skeptical that that's a good way to make a living or contribute? What is your feeling on the future?
It's actually the complete opposite. So right now in the Middle East, everyone, and I literally mean everyone, wants to become a cybersecurity professional or an information security professional. Not because everyone has the passion for it, but because it's one of the few areas where people are not still able to shut down. In so many cases, you see that, for 2020, we're not going to do any network renovation. We're not going to do any infrastructure renovation, but we'll still spend money on security. So people see the need of security in the market. And therefore, anyone who is around the technology space is trying in one way or the other to get into the information security space, to be honest, because it is the highest paying job today. Um, and it's because it's relatively more stable, and honestly there are less people in that space, so it's not as saturated as other areas, like application development or system engineering, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So the w- traditional yet very valuable, because a killer system engineer could be a really good security expert.
Yeah.
But no, I've seen more people, especially right now, so many of the newer universities in the Middle East are affiliating their schools with some other good schools in the US and the UK and Europe in general, and Australia and in Canada, and so many different and good, respectable universities and schools. So the programs for information securities became available. Before that, like back in the days, the people who taught me security were mathematicians, because the security topic was not even there.
Right. Right.
Or for security people, it was all about encryption and communication encryption because of the Middle East and wars and armies. So for them, secure communication was something they knew, or at least they thought they knew. So no, but right now we see more programs in schools, we see more programs in universities, and the IT became part of our daily life. So my dad, who's 70 years old, knows what's a virus, what's a problem with a malware, and knows that could come to a PC or a laptop or a mobile device. So because of the availability of these ideas, it became more exciting to more people to join that field.
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
Okay, Sameh. Awesome. Thank you very much indeed for sharing some of your insights.
Thank you very
Personally,
much.
yeah, I personally found your testimony around changing your diet and changing your life to be fascinating. So thank you very much indeed for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we've got a couple of minutes before we have Zoe Rose up. A quick update on Discord. It's kind of up and it's kind of down, and we're not entirely sure yet.
It's just down.
It's down hard.
Yeah. So
it's down hard.
What we're not going to do is talk about Discord for the foreseeable future.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
Mike, if you're watching on Zoom, we've had a few extra beer farmers join us tonight. I think it would be great. John Oppendecker, do you want to say hello to BeerCom 1?
Do you want to pronounce his name correctly?
Sure.
Oppenheimer.
Sure.
It's Oppenheimer, the
Mr. Hobbit. Mr. Hobbit.
well-known Belgian security researcher.
Sure, man. I pronounced it once, but for then everyone just call me John.
Opdenacker.
Opdenacker. Great.
Opdenacker.
Thanks, Mike. So it's not easy. Everyone has it wrong. Not everyone. Most people get it wrong. So good evening, everyone. And
welcome aboard.
Hi,
thanks.
John.
Thanks. I'm drinking a Duvel.
Of
Nice.
course you are. That's your natural drink.
Yeah. After ibuprofen, Duvel, that's okay. Right?
The drink of your people.
Sean Wright, speak. You
Say hello,
Zimbabwean
John.
bastard.
I don't know. He if he unmutes, it could be very loud, as there's usually a dog trying to tear him apart.
That's true. Good evening, Sean.
Good evening. So apologies for my voice. I'm full of the illness that's going around the house. So it's not my dog this time making the noise, it's me.
Awesome.
It's glad to finally have this upon us. Yeah, it's taken a lot of effort to get here, but I think it'll be all worth it in the end. A big thank you to Google for making sure that they keep the services up and running so we could run smoothly.
Yeah.
We all love Google here. We're big fans, right?
We're all big fans.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Some really great people attending. In fact, everyone is great attending. And to everyone listening, thank you for listening.